Let's kick it off. Welcome back, universe, to Off the Rails with Tom and Mark, episode 60, our first ever 60th episode.
Coming to you from Coldwell Banker Wholesale Realty Studio here in the beautiful Grafton, Wisconsin.
And if you're looking to buy or sell a home or a career in real estate, which sounds pretty appeasing at this time of the year for me, since I'm not got a lot of work with the cold weather.
I think appealing is what you were looking for there.
Appeasing? Appealing might be a little better. It's something. School might be another thing I should get back into.
Every day, one more thing from school just falls out of my head. Gone forever.
I don't even know where I was going with that. All right, so if you're looking to buy or sell a home or a career in real estate, email Roy at cbhsr.com or give him a call, 414-235-0763. They'd love to be your go-to for all your real estate needs. And today, special event, Happy Veterans Day. Thank you very much, Jake Fischer, for coming in. Veteran Jake Fischer.
Thank you, all the vets.
Thank you to all the vets, especially you today. Actually, you know what?
So what branch were you in?
I was in the Army.
Ah, good man.
Good. Yep.
Active duty soldier.
Nice.
In the Army. I was in the 125th Stryker Brigade. I was out of Fort Wainwright, Alaska. There I was a 91 Echo, which is a allied trade specialist. I was a metal fabricator.
Cool.
And learned my trade. That I'm still a fabricator today. But I learned that and went to school while I was in the Army for that.
Nice. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We have a little gift from you here for Off the Rails.
Gift for him.
For you.
Ooh.
For him from Off
You're
the
giving
Rails.
this to us, unbeknownst to you.
You're welcome.
Check it out. I
Yeah.
hope you like it. It's
I
just
like
a little something. Just bust through. It is a rifle pen.
Ooh, that is nice.
Bolt action rifle pen.
That is pretty slick. Get this on Amazon?
Yes, I did get this on Amazon.
That's nice.
Ooh.
If you guys are looking to do any of your Amazon shopping for the holidays, check out our website so we can get a bit of a kickback.
Yeah, use our Amazon link, and then any proceeds from your sale, Amazon will share a portion of it with us.
And
very generously at no extra cost to you.
great way to help out the show. And if you want to buy some rifle pens for your veterans, so Jake doesn't have to share that with the rest of the Army.
Yeah.
Are you done with the Army, or are you still in?
I just recently got done last February. Yes.
Cool.
I did 4 years of active duty. Then I returned home to Wisconsin. Did 4 years of National Guard because I missed the active duty. And then
Missed as in you were sentimental for it, or you
I
you
did. I
didn't
missed
catch a bus and you ended up having
Yeah.
to be in the Guard.
I missed the connection with my soldiers.
Okay.
Made a lot of friends in the military. Real strong bonding.
Cool.
So yeah, I missed the team spirit of being in the military.
The camaraderie.
The camaraderie, yes. So
Okay.
I joined the National Guard, and it wasn't the same as active duty, but the National Guard soldiers are still excellent.
Are there a lot of ex-Army in the National Guard?
No, I was the oddity.
Oh,
when I first
okay.
got to the National Guard, they were all like, oh, this guy's coming from the active duty. Like, oh my God.
Oh, he's going to be covered in scars and
Yeah,
tattoos.
oh God, he got war stories. This guy's got war stories.
Walking like Snake Plissken.
Yeah, they were all very excited when I got to my unit because I was the real deal. I just came from active duty, and then they realized that, whoa, this guy's not playing around, because I was a little more serious about everything. But I really enjoyed the military, both sides, active and National Guard side.
All right. Well,
Very
let's
cool.
rewind it a little bit. What got you started in a military career?
I was failing college.
Failing college.
I was in college for policing, and
Well, college isn't for everybody.
I was, looking back at it, now I could do well in college. At the time, I was just too immature. I needed a little more structure in my life. And
The Army gave it to you.
I was playing Call of Duty. And I was like, you know what?
I can do this shit.
I can do this shit. I can do this stuff. So I was like, well, I'm just going to join the Army.
Think
So
my trophies will transfer over?
do I come in with rank now? So yeah, I joined the military. Left, went to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. In the springtime, it was hot. It was miserable, but a really good experience. Then from there, I went to Virginia, to Fort Lee, did my welding school. And then after that, they boom, put me on an airplane, sent me to Alaska. I arrived in Alaska on like December 20th. So right before Christmas, right at the winter solstice. Sun went down. I didn't see the sun for a week.
Wow.
Nice.
Every day I would wake up. And
Reminds me of high school.
Yeah. Every day I'd wake up and I'd have to go to work, and they put me in all these classes in the basement of a building, and they'd release me at like 2:00, and the sun would come up in Fairbanks at like 11:30, and it would set at like 12:15. So I was like, if you didn't catch that sliver of sun, you weren't seeing the sun. See, I didn't see the sun for like a week. I was like, man, Alaska sucks. And then I saw the sun, and I saw that, there's mountains around. This is great.
I believe the government will pay you just to live there.
It was horrible.
Yeah, they don't pay out much.
No, but
a lot of people take
Alaska needs workers, so the government will kick in a little if you go up there.
Now, do they kick in extra if you're female? Because don't they want to get the population evened out?
I have no idea.
What they kick back is you get a little. I mean, you look at how much money they're making out of the oil coming out of the North Slopes of Alaska, out of Prudhoe Bay and stuff like that. What every resident of Alaska gets is a small kickback of the oil fund.
As a soldier, did you get any of that action?
No, because I was not. I still had Wisconsin as my primary residence, that's where I would be returning to.
Okay.
And they said if you get an Alaska driver's license and you swear that you are going to live in Alaska,
I'm totes going to stay, guys.
They'll pay you. They'll pay you that money. But if you take that money for 3 years and then be like,
well,
all
I'll
right,
see you guys
later. This is fun. And you go to Wisconsin, they'll like audit you, and you're going to have to pay it back. So
makes sense.
I didn't want to fool around with that.
The point is to get people to live there. If you're not living there, you're wasting everyone's time and money.
Yeah. But
So how long were you in Alaska?
I was in Alaska for 3.5 years. But 12 months of that, I was deployed to Afghanistan.
Okay.
So
Let's hear a little bit about that.
I got to Alaska December of 10, and then I went down that following spring. I went to California for some desert training, and then did a month of that. They sent me home for 2 weeks to kind of say goodbye and have a little bit of family time before I deployed to Afghanistan. And then in May of 11 that would be, I got sent to Operation Enduring Freedom, 11-12.
Freedom.
And that was in Kandahar, Afghanistan. I was in RC South. I was stationed on, my CHU was on CAF, Kandahar Airfield. And then...
And you're doing metalworking there?
That's what I thought I was going to do. So I was like, here we go. I'm going to Afghanistan. It's going to be a breeze. I'm just going to be welding the whole time. I'm going to be doing a lot of, armor repair or something like that. I don't even know what to expect.
You wanted sun? Here's your fucking sun. You're
You
going to
bitch about the
Afghanistan.
cold, you're going to the desert.
Yep. So they put us on a plane. We fly from Fairbanks, Alaska, over the North Pole, land in Germany. From Germany, we go to Kyrgyzstan. I didn't even know there was a country called Kyrgyzstan until they're like, welcome to Kyrgyzstan. I'm like, Kazakhstan? They're like, not Borat, Kazakhstan. We're in Kyrgyzstan. And there's Russian letters on the buildings. And I was like,
Nice.
Where am I? So we spent a couple days there, and then we fly in to Afghanistan. The sun's going down, and we're in a C-130, and the back ramp drops, and it was just like opening the oven door. It's like, oh my God, just the heat comes in, and sun was going down behind the mountains, and you could see the heat waves coming off the tarmac, and just the heat just hit you. And then a half second after that, the smell of shit just smacks you in the face. It's like, welcome to the Middle East. This is what it's going to be like.
Nice.
Smell of just raw sewage.
So what were some of the temperatures you were seeing?
Over
Over 100?
the hot, yeah. I think the hottest it was like 136, somewhere around there, 140. And that's what everyone was. I mean, I didn't have a cell phone. It was like, oh, it's 136. I was just,
Hold on, guys, I'm Googling it.
I was just going off of,
Calm down, Sergeant, calm
what
down.
they were like telling us. Hey, it's like 130 something. You guys gotta be careful, and you can take your coats off. You wear a blouse, they call it, which is your multicam top. You can take that off and just walk around in your t-shirt. It's way too hot. But I digress back to so my first day in Afghanistan, I get there that night. They shuttle us across base, throw us into these little semi-trailers that are now our homes, called chews. And the next morning, they wake us up bright and early, and they're like naming off all the names. Everyone, they're doing roll call. And then they're like, okay, Fischer, stand over there. Perry, they throw a bunch of names out there. Everyone stand over there. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to go get thrown on baggage detail or something. And they're like, you guys are no longer part of our company. You guys are your own separate thing. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're like, you are going to run gun trucks this whole year. I was like, no, I'm a welder. They're like, well, you were a welder. So I was like, so yeah, day one I got there and they said, you're not going to weld at all.
So what is a gun truck?
Gun truck, I was running
like Sons of Anarchy.
Well, I figured you're either a semi full of guns or this is some sort of armored combat Bradley vehicle.
It was this was a International Max Pro. So it looked like a big ice cream truck with a turret on top, and we had a 50 on mine. So you have a M2, Browning M2, which is a 50 caliber machine gun. So yeah, they said you're going to be a driver and a gunner and a dismounted personnel. You're going to go outside the wire every day, and you're going to escort our supply company, which is our trucking company. You're going to escort them. The
wire is your base?
Yeah, the wire is the outside
perimeter. Okay.
So they said, you're going to go outside the wire every day, and you guys are going to just be their guardian, and you're going to take them from destination, point A to point B to point C. So I ran 180 missions.
Keep going.
Ran 180 missions in Afghanistan, and it was looking back at it, I would not have wanted to have been in the welding shop. This was a far cooler, more exciting way to spend a year. It had its downs.
I can imagine.
It had its downs. But it was an entertaining, exciting, really interesting year.
And so you did that for 1 year?
Yep. I got there. It was like May 10th. My birthday's May 16th. I turned 20 in Afghanistan. Got held down in my bed and, beat up on my birthday. 20 punches. But yeah, it was like 6 days, weekend. It's like, happy birthday. You're in the middle of Afghanistan.
What's the drinking age in Afghanistan?
Oh, there's no drinking in a combat zone anyways.
Oh, okay.
Especially in the Middle East. Like back in World War II, they used to always, watch Band of Brothers and stuff. They're always drinking and stuff like that. But nowadays, you can't drink in a war zone, especially in the Middle East, where it's alcohol is forbidden. But I still eat bacon. But you can't. Yeah, you can't drink alcohol in the Middle East.
Okay. I suppose it would just dehydrate you and probably risk your body even more anyway.
You had to stay on top of your game all the time, and we were always on call. There was times that we'd get spun up, woke up in the middle. I worked nights. We usually ran all our missions at night, but there'd be times you get woke up in the middle of your sleep and told you got 20 minutes.
Get in the truck.
Get your gear on, get in the truck, you're going out. Have to go do recoveries. Did a lot of recoveries, which were, if a vehicle was blown up, we'd have to go out and recover the vehicle, pull the vehicle back onto a trailer or onto a tow truck and drag it back in, which is always exciting. We're going out to pick up this blown up vehicle. It hit an IED. There's probably another IED right next to it.
Yeah.
So you can
a friend of mine from high school eventually, he went into the Air Force, but he ended up doing IED
route clearance.
Afghanistan. Yeah. Which always confused me because he was in the Air Force and now he's on the side of the road. But whatever. He was happy to do it, so.
I thank God for all the route clearance guys. If it wasn't for them, I that I probably would have been hit. There was so many times that we had close calls, but those guys prevented probably 95% of all the IED strikes.
Cool.
So explain what IED is.
IED is a improvised explosive device.
Okay.
The movie Hurt Locker is all about IEDs.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to be mistaken with IUD, which is a female contraceptive. Yeah. But IED,
both will change your life.
IED is a improvised explosive device, and the Taliban and the nowadays ISIS and everyone like that, they would pretty much take a bunch of HME, which is military loves acronyms. Yep. HME, which is homemade explosives, and they would pack it into a container and place it underneath the ground or in a wall, and then they would have either a a pressure switch that you would hit, run over, step on, or they would have a phone that you could call. They would have a cell phone hooked up to it. And then they have their little cell phone. They got the contact list, bomb 1, and they call bomb
text,
1. Yeah, text it or whatever, and that would ignite the IED and it would explode. And they ranged from anti-personnel where someone would step on it, it would blow their foot off, or we had them where it would blow the whole truck up into the air.
Okay.
We had to do a recovery where, and sometimes it's not homemade explosives, sometimes it is. It could be plastic explosives. Sometimes it would be a 155 777 round, which is a United States military round for 155 millimeter. Not a mortarman. That would be a cannon. But they have the round. They seize some of our weapons and they can place them on the ground. And then there was one time that there was TNT, and that was very rare to have TNT in Afghanistan, but they had been hoarding it for years, and they had 700 pounds.
Wow!
I mean, it was just, and that was what they estimated by the crater. I mean, it's all gone by the time you get there.
Yeah.
It was 700 pounds of TNT.
Damn.
And that was a devastating explosion that really destroyed a vehicle. But
so with all this stress, what do you do to unwind when you're over there and you're off duty?
We had our little bunker, which was if you were having a rocket attack, you'd run outside your room and you'd get into this concrete bunker. Everyone would pretty much spend their off time sitting in there. Everyone in the military smoked. I mean, but everyone would sit down there and you'd smoke. We could buy Cuban cigars when we were over there, so we thought that was very fancy. So we would either have cigars or smoke cigarettes and sitting there, and a bunch of guys that had guitars, and a lot of us knew how to play guitar. But we'd sit down in there and play guitar, or else everyone bought an Xbox as soon as you got there, and a little tiny TV.
Nice. So
you'd have people, you could go over to other people's rooms. You'd have all these guys packed in the semi-trailer playing Xbox, and it was fun. It was sometimes that you'd almost forget where you were. Couldn't drink beer, but we could buy St. Pauli's Girl NA, or we could buy a lot of other horrible European NA beers that tasted horrible, but yeah.
No O'Douls?
No, we had O'Douls. I'm sorry. There'd be days that you'd be like, I'm not going to drink any water today. I'm going to dehydrate myself. I'm not going to eat anything. And I'm going to buy a 24-pack of O'Douls. And I'm going to just drink them all. And I'm going to get some sort of a buzz.
And I'm going to be so hungover tomorrow.
You wouldn't get any buzz. You'd almost, you'd have to run to the bathroom a million times. Never worked. I tried it. Didn't work.
You did get injured. Was that over there?
Yeah, I was in Afghanistan. I got smacked in the head pretty good. I was in my gun truck and I was gunner, and that time we had there's a system called a crow, which it's like something out of Terminator. It's you take a 240 Bravo, which is a 7.62 belt-fed machine gun, or you can take a 50 cal, and they mount it on this machine, and it's got a camera next to it. It's got thermals and all that stuff, and then you got a little joystick and sit in the truck and play video games. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, joystick and point the gun everywhere, zoom in, zoom out. So I had an issue with my weapon. So I had to stand up and I had to throw open the hatch and get up there. And I took off my helmet because it was like 1,000 degrees. Took off my helmet, threw open the hatch. And that hatch, my driver hit a bump and that hatch came flying forward. And yeah.
It's whack-a-mole.
I thought you were going to say the gun came out and whacked you from behind or something.
3/8 piece of armor plate hitting you on the back of the head. That knocked me silly, knocked me out.
Smarted?
It smarted pretty good.
And you got reamed out for taking your helmet off?
I did. And I had to get a bunch of staples in my head. And the whole time they said, well, if you get a concussion, you're not going to go on the road again. They're going to take you off the road.
Makes sense.
So the doctor is looking at me and he's running his finger across. Do you have any metallic taste in your mouth? I'm like, nope. Is anything vibrating or shaking? Nope. Everything was shaking. Everything tasted like metal. I was like, no, I'm fine. He's like, you sure? You seem a little concussed. I'm like, I'm just dehydrated. I'm fine.
And, I'm fine, Mom.
Yeah, I was put me back in the game, coach. I did not want to.
What did they do? Why didn't you want to be healing? What was the alternative?
Because he's not a pussy.
I'm not a pussy.
That, but you also don't want to mess
you
up
want to be a
anybody
liability.
else. Yeah.
I didn't want to be. They gave me I think they gave me 24 hours off, and then I had to like move all the pads in my helmet around because they were pushing on staples, which that wasn't fun. But I just didn't want to come off the road because I didn't want to see my guys out there without me.
Oh, they didn't.
Not saying like I was a key
replacement.
player, but I didn't trust the replacement. I don't know.
Oh,
They were my guys. I wanted to.
That's how I feel when Nate co-hosts the episode and I'm not here.
Yeah.
Got to be with your guys.
Yeah. So they gave you a Purple Heart for that?
No. No. Yeah, there's a couple of words that I got, but not a Purple Heart.
No. Did you see any combat?
Yeah, we had a couple times.
Yeah. Let's hear about it.
If you don't want, if there's anything you don't want to talk about, you don't have to talk about it. I know a lot of veterans. I get it.
The most wild night was we were driving and we had our convoy and then we had another convoy that left at the same time. And we were hauling down the road and that convoy, you can text message from truck to truck. We all have computers. And he said, I'll beat you there. And that whole convoy went out left and passed us. And I was third in row. They went out and passed us. And as soon as they took the turn around a roundabout, the third vehicle in row had a 82 millimeter recoilless rifle off of a rooftop, shot down, and nailed that truck right smack in the grill. And that was like, oh shit, that would oh shit, we just got hit. B, that was the third vehicle. I was going to be the third vehicle.
That would have been your car.
That would have been my truck.
Wow.
And that hit and disabled it. Took out the steering and the brakes and everything on this vehicle. Vehicle careened out of control and got hung up on a Jersey barrier. Driver and passenger got out all right. They had igloo cooler saved my first sergeant was one of the ones that got hit. That saved his life. A piece of shrapnel came through the floorboard tunnel and came up into the igloo cooler, right through a ripet. If any of the veterans are watching, you know what a ripet is.
I like Ripet.
Ripet? That's strictly like a military thing. Everyone loves ripets in the military. Came through, punctured a ripet can, and got stuck in the top of the igloo cooler. He had his arm sitting right there. And you have a bulletproof vest on with ceramic plates and all that stuff, but with your arm right there, that would have come right into your armpit. That could have killed him. So igloo cooler. Shout out to Igloo.
Nice.
Right.
That saved his life. And then it was just the matter of trying to get this vehicle off that wall. And so we were trying to get this vehicle off the wall. There's diesel everywhere. We tried hooking up to it and pulling it, but all the roads are covered in diesel, so it was slippery. And we were sitting there for, I think it was like 5 hours. We had multiple other convoys come up to try to assist. We had like somewhere around 102 vehicles in this. We're in like downtown Kandahar. Like this is a bad place to be. And we had like 102 vehicles piled up across like, they don't have city blocks there, but this was across a couple of city blocks, all entries of this roundabout. And had somewhere around like 82 soldiers on ground from all different units. We had the 10th Mountain there. We had 82nd there. We had the 25th, which was us. And they were all on ground. And then, it's just like a big beacon, middle of the night, big beacon of light in the city. All the Taliban.
Nice.
Hey, these guys are all walking around trying to get it. So
terrifying.
And it was all that whole night. It was just like, small arms fire. More small arms fire. 10th Mountain guys were not fucking around though. Every time we get small arms fire, those guys would just go hauling ass down dark alleys, just chasing those guys. But they probably kept us the safest.
Nice.
That was the most exciting night.
Okay.
But other than that, there was a lot of, you driving and you come back and we're putting our trucks online, like parking our trucks with all the other ones. And you just see like the side window of your ice cream truck. And you're just like, oh shit, there's a bullet stuck in that glass. That wasn't there this morning. Huh. So it's like, we got shot.
Oh, who put that there?
Yeah.
Wow.
You see little scuff marks in the paint from bullets that hit the truck. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Didn't even see that coming.
Wow.
So you mentioned your truck was international. Did you ever encounter any other soldiers from other countries?
I meant. Oh, sorry. When I said international, I meant the company international.
Oh, okay.
The semi-company.
I don't know if it was like a NATO thing or something.
No, it was. So the OEF and being in Kandahar and that's a NATO force. So yeah, we were there, and there was Bulgarians. There was Denmark army, German army, Polish. I mean, everyone was there.
Okay.
Italians, British Air Force, British Navy. There was so many different countries there.
So I don't suppose you have any fun stories about dealing with these guys?
I do.
All right.
We're in the big melting pot of all the NATO forces.
Mm-hmm.
No one really went outside of the wire except for the Canadians, the United States, and the Romanians. And the Romanians were nuts. We'd be driving down the road, and there'd be like a Romanian vehicle to sit on the road, all the doors open. And we drive past it like, that was weird. And then we get about a mile down the road, and there's like Romanians sitting on top of their trucks with sniper rifles. Like, what are you doing? Well, we're fishing. Like, what? We're just waiting for them to place bomb in our truck. I was like, you guys are nuts.
Clever.
Yeah. But yeah, they had the Bulgarians did gate guard. So we'd come in, and I was the lead truck for a while. So you have to open the door and tell them, I got 10 trucks behind me. Okay. So then they'd close the door. So the doors are all pneumatic actuated. So I open the door, tell him I got so many vehicles behind me. Okay. So then he grabs my door handle, and my rifle fell. My rifle's outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
And these doors are armor plated. They weigh like 500 pounds. And it's air actuated. And he's trying to close it. Opens it, closing it. My rifle is in there. Just fucking open it and closing it. I'm like, stop. And he just, no English.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I finally I push my handle out, and it overrides his, actuator. I'm holding it open. I'm like, geez, man, damn it. And my gun is just fucked. I had M4, buttstocks crushed, buffer tubes crushed, upper receivers all cracked. It's like, and it just looks like you just dragged it down the road. It's all scratched.
First you take your helmet off, then you get your rifle fucked up.
I'm like, I am so screwed. They're going to ask what happened. But yeah, the Bulgarian just kind of like, oh, sorry.
Whoops.
Whoops.
My bad.
And then the German army actually did a really cool thing that they did a Schützenschnee, which the Schützenschnee, which is the German marksmanship course. And traditionally, it would be done in Germany or in American soil. They would have that, and then there's usually a big cookout, and they have a beer garden set up.
Nice.
It didn't happen in Afghanistan that way. They had some St. Pauli's
Still
girl.
had some pretzels?
Yeah, we had pretzels and some St. Pauli's girl. But we got to shoot all their weapons, and they got to shoot all our weapons, and we got to commingle with the German army. That was really
cool. That
was a really cool experience.
Oh, that's awesome. So how'd you keep in contact with back home while you were over there?
This was really before all of the internet calling and everything that we have now. But I had a cell phone that looked like it was from 1998. And
Motorola doorstop.
Yeah. Tiny little thing. And you had to buy some calling cards, and you could put them into your phone, and it was probably roughly 70 cents a minute. And every time before I would go out on a mission, I'd either call my dad or my mom, mostly my dad, and just call them, hey, this is the update. This is what happened to me in the past 2 days. How's everything at home? I love you. I'll talk to you soon, I hope. And that would be it.
What's the time difference between Afghanistan and Wisconsin?
I can't remember what the time... I think it's around this is going to sound stupid. I think it's 11 and a half hours.
Afghanistan's a half hour. I know that.
That was the weirdest part. I get over there, and my dad's like, what time is it? It's 12:30. He's like, well, it's not 12:30. Like, no, it's 12 and so many and a half hours different. That's impossible. But yeah, it's only...
Now you're in a fight with your dad.
Yeah.
I'm
in the military. We have big clocks everywhere that are very accurate. But yeah, it's a half hour. It's the only place in the world that's a half hour. Yeah.
I beg to differ that military time is probably more accurate than your house clock.
It's Zulu time. That is the time.
Did you get to experience any of the local cuisine?
We did. when you'd be driving around in the mornings, we'd be coming back, sun coming up, and they'd be cooking all this bread on the side of the road, and looked like just
like literally on the side of the road.
On the side of the road, they had like a couple poles with a shitty ass tarp wrapped around it, and makeshift huts, and they were burning trash on the side of the road and cooking bread over it, and it smelled good. So it smelled all right. So we'd just stop once in a while and dismount the vehicle, and I'd walk up with like $1 bread. I'd point at the bread, and okay, how many? And 5. Give me 5 pieces, 5 big loaves of bread. They're like the size of a skateboard.
Nice,
a big oval bread. Get that, and we'd put sugar on it, or butter, peanut butter, or we'd put a bunch of stuff on it. And it was always hot, and we'd eat it. And then there'd be other times you'd get out to have like $1, it'd be like 5, and they give you 1. Be like, no, 5, and he'd be like, well, that's $5. Like, fuck you, that guy over there, give him to me. They'd try to like up it, or else they'd be like $10. I'm like, no, I'm not paying 10, man. I've gotten
for
5
trash
for
bread.
$1. And then everyone started calling. There was other soldiers there that were like, you eat that foot bread? Foot bread? And they're like, yeah, they like need that out with their feet. I'm like, I don't believe
the French make wine with their feet.
But the French are much cleaner people.
Are they? Have you met any Frenchmen?
That's true. Yeah. So we had the foot bread. We'd eat the foot bread occasionally.
How's the food on base?
Food on base was excellent on CAF. And other FOBs in the area. If any veterans are listening, we used to go to, we'd go to Frontenac, which was this place in RC South. They had a Baskin Robbins ice cream stand.
Nice.
I was like, this is incredible. You guys are really supporting the United States military. This is amazing. They had build your own burgers. They had surf and turf night on Wednesdays, and little tiny lobster tails and steaks. It's like, this is insane. You go to other bases, and the food was just horrible. But the food was pretty good. We'd be driving at night, and you'd pull into these bases, and it's dark, and no one's awake. And we'd always raid the chow hall. I gotta go get some snacks. You lived off of Pop-Tarts and Gatorades and Rippets. And I can't drink any of those to this day now, because I'm just so burned out on all of that.
Yeah.
But we went in this chow hall one time, and they had bow tie pasta, shrimp scampi. Well, that's gonna be good. We're in a mud hut. This is a claimed mud hut Afghan building that's now turned into a chow hall. There's fly paper everywhere, and there's shrimp scampi sitting there.
Shrimp scampi.
Shrimp scampi. Yeah, that's my favorite when my dad makes it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. So we're eating it, and everyone's like, oh, this is to die for. We're just eating it. No. We get in the trucks, and it's like 2 hours later, and everybody's on the radio. I don't feel so good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think we all got food poisoning. It's 100 degrees at midnight. We're eating shrimp scampi. Like, God knows how old this was.
When's the last time a shrimp has been in this desert?
That was the lunch portion?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we were making a lot of emergency stops for some bathroom breaks.
Nice.
So then you came back. Did you go back to Alaska?
Yeah, I came back. That was end of April. Came back to Alaska and had a pretty good homewarming. All our friends from Alaska came out and welcomed us home, and it was a little different adjusting, going from Afghanistan. Now you're back in Alaska, and there's moose, and you get your own personal vehicle now, and you can go out and buy have a beer. They're like, now that we're back, take about, you only have 2 beers today. It's like, okay. As soon as it's like, as soon as you're dismissed off that day, it's like, where's the Class 6? I'm buying a 30-pack.
Yeah.
This is going to be, so many people.
This is going to be bad.
This is going to be bad. We got home, and it was still cold in Alaska. And we had a soldier, not in our brigade, different battalion, that is. He went out, got drunk, passed out in a snow ditch, got frostbite on his nose and stuff. So then they had to announce, like, okay, some of you might have a trouble adjusting alcohol. Don't get so drunk you pass out in a snowbank, because it's happening.
So anytime the Army seems to have meetings after something happens.
Oh,
not
yeah.
Before.
It's not a problem till it's a problem. Then it's a problem.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to worry about it. It's never happened yet. Okay, now we'll have no preemptive work.
No. Every time something happens, you're just like, nah, we're going to have a safety briefing about this.
Oh, thanks, Chad.
The Army has people who sit in a room and just cook up things that could possibly happen. So there's a plan for everything.
Okay.
They can't possibly have meetings for everything.
I guess. And now you came home. You had a kid.
I did, yeah.
Yep. Congratulations.
I have a new son, Lincoln. He's going to turn 6 months old. What's today's date? The 10th?
Congratulations.
He's
Congratulations.
turning 6 months old tomorrow.
You just bought a house.
Just bought a house on the VA home loan, which is awesome.
Very good. And you are getting married.
And I'm getting married. I got a busy year now that you put it this way. Yeah.
You did it in reverse order, but you still...
did, yep. Baby house marriage, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're getting married next year.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome.
So is Lincoln walking?
Not yet.
Not yet.
He's only 6 months. He's thinking about crawling. He's starting to kind of...
I have a 17-month-old right now. Enjoy the fact that you can just put him down.
Oh,
you can go to the bathroom. You can
Right
go
now.
make a sandwich.
And
You
he's
come
not
back,
gonna be gone.
he's still there.
right now we're painting. I left, we were painting this morning. As soon as I'm done with this, I got to go home and paint more. And that's all I was thinking was, I can't even imagine doing this if he was crawling or walking. He'd be in that paint tray. He'd be on the wall. If he was wall walking, he'd be handprints everywhere. But
That'd be awesome.
right now it's very convenient that I can just set him down.
Put a stuffed animal next to him. You're good.
Yep.
So,
I miss those days.
have you seen this story? Air Force puts the kibosh on a $1,300 coffee cup.
What?
A $1,300 coffee cup.
These are the coffee cups that they were starting to have problems with.
Oh, is this how much it costs to develop?
The handle for the coffee cup was being faulty, and the military, because of this, it's just a cup you plug into a plug and it warms your coffee.
Fancy. Only the Air Force designs shit like that.
So when the Army buys the patent for something, they didn't buy the specs. So the problem that they were having was, why don't we just use one of our 3D printers and print the handle? Oh, we only bought this. We didn't buy the specs. We don't know how to enter it in a 3D printer and make a 50-cent handle that's breaking. So this has brought up a lot of other issues that they were talking about. Like, why are we doing so much wasteful spending? Why didn't you just buy the whole patent instead of we can?
Well, we know that now.
Now, Army has a plan for that. But they were talking about the big time spending that was going on. $1,280 a piece for these.
After it was produced, that's the manufacturing cost?
Yeah.
If they're 3D printing it, yeah.
I work in custom manufacturing. We could make handles way cheaper than that.
Give them a
I
quote.
think they're saying that's the whole cup, maybe with the electronics in it to heat it.
With everything.
Let me tell you. All right, so there's differences
But
between
it
all the
still
branches.
Okay.
The Army, you get some shitty ass paper cup. The Air Force, they fucking give them this.
$1,300 coffee
You're in the
cup.
wrong
Yeah,
branch,
I was
man.
in the wrong branch.
Well, these
called
plugs,
the Chair Force.
These plugs are specific for airplane plugs.
Fucking pilots. Fucking pilots.
And they were spending, I have another quote here, that they were spending $10,000 on toilet seat covers.
What the hell? Like the paper ones?
Yeah, well, hold on, I'd have to get that down in the story somewhere.
They get nice cashmere ones in the Air Force.
Did they massage your butt while you were sitting?
I didn't get into that part of the story, but yeah, they were trying to think of ways to
just spend the tax dollar.
Well, when the story gets out that they bought shitty cups and now everybody has a $1,300 cup that's going to fall apart anyway.
I don't think you understand how big the military bureaucracy can be.
Okay, let's hear it.
There's a fun movie made maybe 20 years ago with Kelsey Grammer and Carrie Ellis called I think it's called the Pentagon Wars, or they think they changed the name to the Second Civil War. It's about the development of the Bradley fighting vehicle and all the iterations, and it was a joint operation between the Air Force and the Army, and it's just all this ridiculous bureaucratic nightmare shit. It's hilarious. The Army are kind of the bad guys, being the bureaucrats, and Carrie Ellis plays the Air Force guy who's been assigned to it. But it's a great movie, and it kind of highlights in a fun way the ridiculous bureaucracy that can be the United States military.
All right.
Well, the Air Force defended themselves, saying that, hey, the KC-10 regularly does 10-hour flight missions and sometimes can be 17, 18 hours, and we need to heat our coffee.
I've been on those planes for that long of flights. There's just people that are fucking sitting there doing nothing.
Right.
They can heat up the damn pilot's
Get me a cup of coffee. Get me some hot coffee.
It was probably conceived as a cost-saving measure. Have one less
They could
guy on
hire
the plane.
They could hire a stewardess
Yeah.
to do that for cheaper than they bought for a pilot and a co-pilot. Those
Well,
stupid
just
cups.
make the lowest-ranking guy, make the E1 or whatever, make him go do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is in the Air Force.
E1, yeah.
All right. So, what do you think about it? Well, if you're going to spend that much, you should make sure that the things...
You could
It's
at least
not-
put like a sweet licensed logo on it, like the Star Trek logo or
Well,
something.
Yeah.
If you get this cup, basically, it's going to break.
It's not even the handle
It
is
looks-
not even it's not visually appealing at all.
The handle looks like it's upside down.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, kind of.
Maybe that's why it's
Well, there's your
engineered
problem.
to hold
Maybe
weight
the-
this way and not that way.
Well, I think the cup might be upside down because it would look.
There's your problem.
You know, it's I don't know.
Yeah, it's got a little beer stein topper to it.
Oh, it does. They're so fancy.
Oh, yeah, you can...
They probably have a fancy like coffee dispenser that
Well, this one's got
hooks
some
up with
dings
it
on it, too,
perfectly.
so it's been through some turbulence.
It's got some what on it?
Dings on it.
Oh
Some
yeah.
flak damage.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, what else do we got?
That's absolutely ridiculous.
You got any plans for Veterans Day tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. I probably should go out and
Get some free stuff.
treat myself. I'm not one of those guys that's I'm gonna go get my free stuff, but I should probably
I got a
go
whole
out and treat
page
myself
of
for a
free
nice
stuff
meal.
that you can get.
There is a lot of places you can go.
yeah.
You can hit up Hooters. can hit
You
up-
ever thought about being in the Veterans Day Parade?
I would like to, but I think I gotta be older for that. I know that you
Ah.
don't have to be, but
I don't think so. My dad does a lot of organizing for it because he's retired Army Reserve.
okay.
And I was in the parade once with him. And I felt really awkward because I think everyone assumed I was a veteran,
vet?
and I'm not.
All right.
So
Oh.
I never did it a second time because I was not happy with it. It
Everybody,
felt so
like,
uncomfortable. Yeah, for
thanking
me.
you for
Mhm.
something you...
Yeah, I was sitting in
Yeah.
a car next to my dad, who is a veteran. And-
Does your father wear his dress uniform?
no, he was in his street clothes.
Okay.
He was a colonel,
Oh,
so
Whoa.
he'll wear whatever the hell he wants to wear.
wow. Full bird.
Yeah,
Wow.
he retired right before 9/11. He was in it for like 40 years.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was ROTC in college and then all the way through up like 60 or
All right.
whatever. So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Never saw a day of combat.
Never saw that. Well,
That was right after Vietnam. He was in the ROTC during Vietnam. And by the time he graduated, they were
It was
already
over.
ramping down.
gotcha.
My uncle, his brother, did go to Vietnam. One of my dad's good friends, who was his command sergeant, best bud, did go to Vietnam.
Okay.
And yeah.
all right. Well, there's free food at thousands of restaurants, so we can't even go over the list. There's too many. You can get some free Applebee's, Red Lobster, Golden Corral. That's where you go.
Get a brisket.
What, where's the best place to go to find out where you could get?
There's, your military sites have all of that, right? Yeah.
Okay.
National park entrances.
Are free?
Yeah.
Well,
So
You should take
we can go scout out
Sammy and
the
Lincoln.
Polk Kames place. Or you can.
yeah.
I don't have a park sticker this year. Free car washes.
Where?
Hold the phone.
Okay.
Hold up. My truck's salty. Ah, never mind.
Internet is lost.
Network lost.
Okay. It's going off my phone, so. Okay, we'll just go to sports clips, free haircut, or I believe you get a voucher to come back for a haircut.
Well, I'll have to get me some of that.
Great clips, also.
Crew cut only.
Free SeaWorld.
You can go to free
SeaWorld sucks now. They got rid of all the cool animals.
I've
Ever
never
since
been to
Blackfish,
SeaWorld.
I think.
Yeah,
they're
did you
taking a
see
real
that?
big hit. Yeah.
Oh, it broke my heart.
What did they get rid of?
All the
whales
cool
and stuff?
animals, the cool fish, mammals.
Yeah, they're mammals.
I suppose they are
Jeez.
animals. Yeah. Have you seen Blackfish, Tom?
Nope.
It is great, but it is soul crushing.
Sad. So sad.
Yeah. It's a documentary on how all these killer whales and Shamu and everything, and how they've been treated and how they were captured or raised in captivity, and how these lesser parks totally abuse the animals. And then, yeah, it's the same fish or mammals getting traded around sometimes. So, yeah, it's a really interesting thing to watch, but you'll have nightmares.
Really? It's not any worse than the Japanese eating them? Would they rather have that life?
I don't know.
Get a fair shot that way. Would you rather be born in the wild and get fished, or be born in captivity and never get to be free?
I am not sure.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. Your list.
All right.
It's all haircuts?
No, haircut. Free night of lodging at bed and breakfast around the world.
Ooh.
Aquarium?
More aquarium stuff?
I believe the Chicago Aquarium would be given that.
The shed?
But that's the problem. That's where they rope you in.
The beluga whales.
Because I got to pay for Sam. Yeah, no, I'd
Right,
have to still pay for my fiance.
Oh, yeah.
So
I suppose you can't get her an ID. A spousal ID of some sort?
they don't. They don't treat that the same.
My dad, the colonel, was able to get my mom a spouse ID so she can get military discount too.
Oh, wow.
It pays to be a colonel.
Damn. All right. Free golf at Fort Wayne, Indiana, if you want to go down there.
I don't know if that's worth it, but yeah.
What about Mount Vernon?
Ooh, Mount Vernon. That's nice.
That's free. Harley Davidson Museum, free admission.
There we go.
There you go.
There's a local event I could do. That'd be
From
cool.
10 a.m. tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free.
Nice.
It's normally $20.
Yeah, it's pricey. It's Harley
I've never
Davidson.
been there.
They got to make their money.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Washington, D.C. is offer. What is that? Museum?
The Museum?
Museum?
Never been to DC. I really want to go. A lot of cool museums, I hear.
All right. So
you're big into hunting?
I am. I'm big into hunting and fishing. Really, that was probably the best part about living in Alaska, was the hunting and fishing part.
What do they hunt up there? Caribou?
anything you want.
Anything
Yeah.
you want.
Polar
Yeah.
bear?
Not that, though.
You had a moose total your car, though.
I did. We went on a moose hunting trip down in Tok, Alaska, which is Tok, whatever you want to say, T-O-K. We went down there for a moose hunting expedition with me and my friends, and we were like 60 miles away from Canada, and we were on our way home and smacked a big old cow with my truck. Came over a hill and there was 5 of them in the road.
A Hummer you were driving.
I was driving not a military one, but yes, I had a personal.
50
It was
cal on top.
very nice,
yeah.
shiny, brand new.
I had a really nice Hummer H2, and yes,
Emphasis on had.
Yeah.
Yep. Caved in my A-pillar, peeled my roof back, windshield came in, bent the steering wheel, all the hell. Took out the side window, blah, blah, blah. Just
Didn't
destroyed
even
the
get to
vehicle.
keep the moose.
Did not get to keep the moose.
Why not?
If, even if I had the time to have put it on my trailer, I would have still been, that's committing a crime. You have to
Register
contact
it?
the police, and the police take that animal and donate it to the poor.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's like they
there's
take
so
it
many
to the
people
food
that-
pantry.
There's so many people in Alaska that are subsistence.
Subsistence.
That's it.
Deficient?
On hunting,
Oh.
that they receive the animal
Okay.
because they don't have the money, they don't have the
I
income
guess
to
it's a
go out and buy
noble
beef.
cause.
Yeah, it's not like
it's
Wisconsin
like-
where if you hit it, they offer you to.
Bam, that's 900 pounds of boned out meat right there.
Yeah.
So we had to leave it. But then we had to
you
drive.
hit it so hard the bones flew out?
So then I had to drive with the whole thing all the way. I had to drive with the truck without the windshield, without the side window, all the way back to Fairbanks, which was like 360 miles.
At least it was drivable.
It was drivable, but it was fucking snowing. So it was like,
So was it really?
So it's
That
like-
sucks.
I had safety glasses in the glove box, put some safety glasses on, wrapped a beach towel around my neck as a scarf. Put my hood up, hat on, gloves,
Damn.
cranked my heated seats, cranked my heat. I drove all the way back to Fairbanks, and I stopped at a gas station in Delta Junction, and I'm filling up, and there's this Alaska State Trooper like filling up his squad car. He's like looking at me and gets in his car and just takes off. I was like, you don't even ask if I'm okay.
He doesn't want to know.
He doesn't want to know. Like I got chunks of fur hanging out of
towel
shit.
around.
Well, what's he going to do? Walk up to you and say, problems on the road today?
Yeah.
No, Oh, he's probably seasoned it up. He's like, oh, that dude hit a moose.
And I get all the way back to the base. I'm trying to get on my, Fort Wayne, right? And I pull out my ID and I hand it to the gate guard. And the gate guard's just looking at me. And he's like, long night, huh? I'm like, yeah. There's fucking blood. And she had all her cud. She had all her cud because they're a ruminant. Mm-hmm. So they have four digestive chambers like a cow. So she was chewing cud. And I hit her and she just sprayed cud and vomit, everywhere in my truck. So my headliner's green. I'm red. It's like, this is great. And that guy's just like, rough night. Yeah. So yeah, that was the end of my moose hunting career. I was like, I got mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a lot of small game hunting. Lots of grouse.
No, they take the meat. Rabbit. Could you have kept the antlers if there were antlers?
If there were, thank God there weren't. Because
I suppose they would have fucked up the car even more.
Oh, or you would have stabbed us in the chest.
Been like Jack and the Beanstalk spoon through.
Yeah, her head bounced off the steering wheel and bent from the 10 and 2 position was bent back at like a 45-degree angle.
Oh wow!
If it was a cow, if it was a bull, we'd have been dead.
Okay.
His antlers would have just decapitated.
Terrifying.
So, good thing her face wasn't pointed at you for all the cud.
Yeah.
You get whiplash. Just moose puke. So, I brought this story up because you fight for our right to vote, and I thought this would be an interesting story. Nevada has elected a dead pimp. Have you guys heard about this story?
No.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, I heard about this.
All right, Dennis Hoff. He used to run He ran.
Neither of those are right.
He administered
the
Bunny Ranch?
Bunny Ranch.
Which is legal.
Which is legal in Vegas. And Nevada. He was on HBO show called The Cat House.
Okay.
And he was running for... Let me find exactly what he was running.
Comptroller?
The 36th Assembly District.
Okay, so state assembly.
Well, 3 weeks before the election, he was found dead. He died.
They didn't have time to take it off the ballots, though.
Nope.
So does it say, I'm curious, what happens procedurally when you elect someone who is dead, or they immediately can't fill the job? So do you have another election, or is there already...
There's already stuff.
Is that now vice an appointee position? Like would now the governor or whoever put someone in there as if he had died while he was serving? Yeah, or is there a lieutenant assembly person? I don't know.
Would the incumbent get it? Do they go to the...
No, I think they still lose. If anything, there would be either another election or...
You lost to a dead guy.
A gubernatorial administration.
Yeah, I got beat by a dead pimp. I'm miserable at politics.
You people obviously don't want me here. You elected a dead pimp. Yeah. Well, you can have the job. I don't want it anymore. I can get a hint. So, yeah, he's gained national reputation. There were signs leading up to the voting booths
saying
Notice,
don't vote for him.
Death of candidate.
Well, Mickey Mouse always gets votes every presidential election, so
yeah.
Everyone writes him in.
Someone always writes him in.
Yeah.
A countable amount of people do it. So, what would happen if he won?
Yeah.
Well, do you think that they should just leave this spot open and say, if you guys aren't willing to know who you're voting for, if they're even alive, then this is what you get? You spoke.
Well, yeah, especially if there were signs leading up to the...
At least learn a little bit about who you're voting for. Like, are they alive?
I think that's someone just like, oh, I'm just going to vote for this guy. That was me. Funny. What if he gets elected? And then it was enough.
He won in a landslide.
Oh, man.
He didn't squeak by.
Without getting too political,
were
there were a lot of landslide type elections, so it could have been a part of that.
He lost to this person last election.
Oh, I suppose the pimp could be a businessman. He could be.
So he unseated?
He unseated a guy that he previously lost to.
Wow.
In the same race.
So
that shows how poor of a job that guy was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm trying to find out here. Sorry, I had it, but I read this a week ago. Oh, he's the sexual assault accusations that held no wall. Nobody gave a crap about that.
He's a pimp.
That could be anybody. But we got time for another story, speaking of sexual assault here. And I want to know why Demi Moore is not going to jail. Have you guys seen the new video that's resurfaced of her?
No.
All right, here is her kissing a 15-year-old boy. I got the video. Let me pull up this video. I believe I had it somewhere. But you know, when I want it, it's not there. Hold on.
Like peck on the cheek?
You're going to be uncomfortable.
Oh,
as uncomfortable as it was when I watched Tom Brady kiss his son on the lips. Oh, if it's your kid, it's okay. Maybe this is her kid.
Why was this on camera? Like, what was it for? What was she doing?
This was a while ago. But it was... she was 19, and the boy, it was her 15th birthday.
This is a Romeo and Juliet case.
Oh.
This is nothing.
This is nothing. Man,
there needs to be
modern day.
Yeah, I thought, modern day, however 50-year-old
everybody else gets taken down.
Total cougar.
For crap that, sexual assault that wasn't sexual
there
assault.
There are a lot of cases of, the boyfriend's 19 and the girlfriend is 17, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's a sexual predator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this now 15-year-old boy is now mid-40s.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's not a victim.
I mean, yes, he is legally incapable of giving consent, but when it comes to people of the same age
and we're talking
bracket, yeah, it's kissing.
It's not.
Kissing ain't against the law.
Yeah, there's no legal age.
I wouldn't recommend you go kissing a minor, but you could.
Okay, guys, here we'll have you judge. So, okay, give her a whirl. Take a look at that. Okay, what are you guys seeing?
Demi Moore's hot 19-year-old then.
Yeah,
but
she is.
Yeah,
living on this kid.
Okay, here's
she made that kid's day.
She's an 11. We all agree. He's like a 4.
Yeah.
She's doing him a favor. That is the end of their interchange.
Wait, so why don't we change the?
That was like a Make-A-Wish Foundation kiss.
Yeah.
She did a movie with him.
Yeah, he probably had cancer or something.
No, she did a movie with him. He was a co-star.
Well,
all right.
Maybe it was an acting kiss. They are actors.
That's
clearly that's a press footage or whatever. But that's who she was kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you put that in the show notes?
This is like when there's a hot 25-year-old teacher and she has sex with a 17-year-old student. What's your first reaction? Just to give the kid a high five.
Yeah. What were you doing?
Why is that, though?
Because we're men and we're pigs.
Yeah.
Okay. So Demi Moore gets a pass for the Hollywood.
What if it had been the other way around?
You don't think this fetish started when she was young and she continued to date and marry men that were...
That is interesting. Because, there's the Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, 20-some years younger.
I mean, yeah, but that was completely consensual. And she looks great.
That looked consensual, too, but it still was a just freshly 15-year-old boy. I'm going to call him 14 because who knows when he was born that day, but it was on his birthday. Yeah, that was his 15th birthday.
I didn't get that on my 15th birthday.
Shit.
You weren't ugly enough, Mark.
Apparently.
You got to be just a little more ugly, and Demi Moore would have came and raped you on your 15th birthday.
Well, I mean, yes, he legally couldn't have give consent, but I bet you he was all in, and he totally consented. And if it was his birthday party, his parents were probably there. They probably legally consented to this. I don't think this is a hill worth dying on, Tom. There are better ways to illustrate what I think you're trying to get at here.
Why?
Because, they're both young people. When it's like a Matt Lauer thing or whatever, when there's a larger age group or there's clearly not consent on one party, that's when that would be a much better comparison. That would be like if there was an aging pop star who was going around. My point is the
tides are turned because if this was 19-year-old Charlie Sheen and just turned 15-year-old Molly, we got a big problem.
Unless the parents consent. There was
again,
what's her face? what the fuck was her name?
The kiss.
There was some teenager who was underage, and she was dating some B star, and they got married, and her parents consented. Courtney Stodden, I think, was her name, and she got like fake tits and everything, and she was underage, but her parents consented to the marriage because he's a B actor, but he was fucking rich.
Okay.
So parents can give consent if you want to marry a minor.
All right, so we don't
which is
call
also
her
weird.
a predator.
I wouldn't.
No.
No?
Cougar, maybe.
I was going to say cougar, for sure.
All right. Well, speaking of predators, this is Mark's story. Mark, you want to take the reins here?
Yeah, I brought this one to the table. I saw it and I just...
Thought it was hilarious.
A 69-year-old Dutch man wants to legally change his age to 49 because he's having issues on Tinder.
Wow.
No one wants to swipe right on a man who's... No, doesn't he say people think the 69 is a joke? Like he's
because he looks so much younger.
Like
he's
the
very
sex
dapper.
act. He doesn't look 69. I'll give him that.
49.
He's used some Just for Men, and he'll look maybe 49.
You know?
Yeah.
The Dutch don't... Hutch? I should have thought this one through.
His age.
The Dutch don't touch
The
69.
Dane don't complain.
Yeah. The Dane don't complain.
So what? He's gonna then find a woman
He
who
wants
thinks he's
to.
49?
He's serious about this.
Yes.
He wants to push his pension benefits off, his Social Security.
I'm fine with that.
So
we can delay that 20
so
years.
he finds a woman that thinks he's 49 and gets married to
hey,
her.
my gramps.
And he's actually 69?
Well, like she'd see him and be like, "Oh yeah, I totally buy that you're 49." No, they're gonna be like, "You're what's the haps here? You're old."
My gramps was down in Florida not too long ago, and he was having, hey, tell people that I'm 73.
How old was he?
88.
Okay. Is this just out of vanity?
Your
No.
Gramps doesn't look
Was he single?
88, though.
Looking
Yeah,
at
he's
mingle?
single. Yeah.
Okay.
He
went to
doesn't look
Florida at a
88. He just
party.
roofed his house.
He don't want to be dating no 88-year-old women though.
He's got like 3 roofer sons, and he put a metal roof on his own house at 88.
Every time we go to his
Nice.
house, he's outside doing something. He's so just physically active.
All right.
And
So don't tell him about this story, or he'll be calling Molly, how do I change my age?
yeah, right?
Well, I didn't do
Just make me
Tinder,
70
but
again.
I met my wife on internet dating. You fill out your profile, you describe yourself, and if you describe yourself
We are farmers
inaccurately, farmersonly.com.
Farmers only?
No,
Yeah.
it was plenty
Christian
of fish
Mingle?
because it was
Plenty
free.
of fish for free. There you go.
I'm
That's
paying
my
a
price.
dime for love. But if you lie or you post an
I'm not ugly enough to get them anymore, but I'm too ugly to not internet date.
I, for example, am a bald man, and I had just shaved my head within the last couple of years, so I had a lot of pictures of me with hair. And I'm like, well, should I put those on my profile?
No.
I
Or are
decided
you
no,
catfishing?
because they're going to see that, and they're going to be immediately like, why don't you look like your picture?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's wrong here? It's going to turn off. It's going to blow up
Couldn't
in his
you-
face for all these dates he's going to try to get.
Couldn't you have just put up those pictures and P.S.
I
I'm
don't
bald
have
now.
that anymore.
No, I'm bald.
I could have. I took some new pictures because I wanted some like DMV style photos of just my face. So
It
at the
worked out.
time, my license still had hair on it, so I couldn't have even used that.
Mark held on to his hair for about the right amount of time. You knew when it was time.
Yeah,
It was starting to look like the top of a cob of corn.
Yeah.
It was-
And he said-
I was growing it long
yeah,
on top, so yeah,
If
it
I
was,
saw
it was obvious that I was
balding.
not lucky genetically.
Yeah.
So, and my dad, in the same way, I had the same pattern he had. Not typical male pattern baldness, but the kind that lends itself to the comb over.
Yeah.
So,
if I saw a picture of you with hair, I don't think I'd recognize you.
Oh, no. We got hair.
yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I shaved my head at the
I got
party
nice hair.
house.
Yeah.
And you weren't dating Molly yet at that time.
No, I was dating Corey.
Yeah,
because
'cause
that
that
her
was-
25th birthday,
yeah.
and the party sucked so bad.
Wait,
you
she
had to
just
get
had
this
it, and so you were dating when she was 17?
thing. No. Yeah, here's a picture of me on YouTube.
No,
So-
because I'm such a cheap bastard. I used to cut my own hair.
Oh wow.
And I totally screwed it up, and I determined there was no way to fix this. So I just had to shave
How'd
it
you
all
cut
off.
the back?
Even a professional.
I would take scissors, and I would just do this, and I had 2 mirrors. I had a sink in my bedroom, because that was a weird-ass apartment. So I could do it in there without...
This dude loves to save a penny.
Yeah.
I am a cheap bastard. This is true.
Wow.
Save a lot of money on shampoo this way. Just saying.
Just take the bar of soap and run around.
Yeah, done. Low maintenance. It's aerodynamic.
All right.
But as I discovered on dating websites, hair is very important to some women.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's fine. Though I'm not going to be happy with them either. So let's not waste each other's time. Don't lie on your Tinder page.
Well, what this guy is saying is he's getting basically ageism. it's harder for him to get jobs.
There
now.
was the age bracket of what age are you looking for on Plenty of Fish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I decided to go 7 years younger or 2 years older. That was my range that I was kind of shooting at.
See, Demi Moore's out of your range,
So
man.
I would have gone +2.
+2?
Yeah. I know a lot of women who won't date men that are younger than them.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm being unreasonable. If you don't mind me asking,
Well,
what's
it
the
works
age
for
difference
you.
between you and your...
3
Three.
years. She's 25.
And you are...
20. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she's 25.
And you are...
I'm 27. So, no,
Okay.
it's not 3 years. It's 2 years.
My brother-in-law married a woman who's older than him. My brother married a woman who's a few years older than him.
Molly and I are 4 months apart, 3 months apart.
Yeah.
4.
My wife and I are 2 weeks apart.
Oh, wow.
And I'm older!
Oh, my ding isn't working, but
That's
you would've
pure
got one.
coincidence.
Yeah.
So...
All right, so he's
If
prepared.
you would have met your wife and she was 3 years older than you, would you have been like, yeah, she's really cool, but
I
Too
probably
much of a
would have
cougar.
made the exception, but that was the search parameters or
Okay.
whatever it was.
yeah, there's
2
always,
years older, 7
you can
younger.
always.
And I would just, I'm like, 2 years. I thought I was being reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't know. At the time, I was 25, so it was 18 to 27 was what I was looking at.
At 25, you were willing to try
I
to
didn't-
date an
Date an
18
I
year
didn't
old?
contact any,
Can
but
you
they show up
imagine
in my
that?
feed.
I couldn't even imagine that.
No.
The woman who I was pursuing before I met my wife was way younger, and she was nuts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Young women get better as they age. Let's put it that
We're
way.
like wine.
Yes, women are like wine.
Not Russian women.
I'll take a beautiful aged port any day.
All right, so this guy, I think he has an ulterior motive because he's saying that
It's Tinder. Tinder is for one thing.
he's saying that if transgender people get to change their birth certificate, why can't I change mine
In my
a different
opinion,
way?
transgender people are also making a physical change. If he wants to change his name, he's going to have to replace parts of his bodies with the parts of younger people to bring down the average.
Oh.
So if he wants to have your arms surgically attached, what are you, 35?
34.
If 25% of him was 34, then you could do the math and you could bring down his age, his average age. I would be willing
Average
to
age.
accept that.
Well, then anyone that has like an organ transplant from
Yeah.
someone younger.
Yeah, they could take a few months off, sure.
Why my average age is.
Although your body replaces all its cells every 7 years, so after
Right.
7 years, you're fully that age again. So it's gonna be like a drug. You have to have new body parts every couple of years to maintain it.
Molly, I want your driver's license to say 105 pounds.
They've
Why?
never weighed me. It was always you write it down, and they
Yeah.
just take your word for it.
Well, you can change. I mean,
I rounded my
Once
height
you
up a
start-
little bit.
down any path.
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
You
I'm 5'10".
you just open it up for nuts.
At the end of the day,
There's
he's,
always going to be people that want to marry a tree.
he's representing
You know what I'm
himself
saying? Mhm.
to other people inaccurately, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
if it's a problem for them, he's just wasting everyone's time. Because if these people don't want to date an older person, it doesn't matter if he wants to date them. If they don't want to date him, it's not going to work.
Yeah, but if he was 49.
He needs to find someone with daddy issues who wants a man who's 30 years older than her.
Okay.
Or him. Maybe
But
he's-
yeah, then she
maybe
would be
he's barking
19
up the wrong
if he was
tree.
49. Bam.
No, his birth age.
Oh. No, it's on his birth certificate. That's what he wants changed. That is my birth age. I want to change the year I was born.
I think
Wow.
it's silly.
Yeah.
Well, that's how a lot of these things start. And before you know it, anybody can pick their age, their weight, their height.
What? Speaking of driver's license, what do you have on your driver's license for hair color?
Brown, because my facial hair and my eyebrows are
Oh,
brown.
okay. Sorry.
Hair color.
It's a valid question.
I just was curious.
As someone with a perfect head of hair, I'm sure you've never thought about it.
Nope.
After the show, can I run my fingers through that?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, I think we can wrap up this episode. What do you think there, Mark? What should we
Sure.
do?
Hug a veteran.
Hug a veteran. Thank you very
Unless
much.
they don't want to
Jake.
be hugged.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Here you go. You can have this.
Ooh,
by the way.
Don't eat
the
that.
pen was more than enough. I
Don't
don't
eat
need
that.
that.
Okay. If you're looking to buy or sell a home or interested in a career in real estate, email Roy at cbhsr.com, or give him a call, 262-235-0673. God, I hope that's the right number. I didn't look. Or you can just
The
check.
number's also on the video feed here.
Yeah,
By the way,
check.
the camera's not red.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I
Nope.
thought you were done, so I'm just recording the audio.
All right, this is just for the listeners at home.
All right. Make sure you check out our Amazon link on our page.
Amazon link. We have a Patreon page. There's a lot of
You
ways
shop
to
on
support the
Amazon,
show.
right?
I do.
Use our link
I do.
and spend a ton of money this year. Treat yourself. You earned it.
Treat yourself.
You earned it. So, all right, Mark, I'll let you wrap it up.
Sure. We are Off the Rails with Tom and Mark, and you can find us all over this great wide internet. The key phrase is Off the Rails TM. Our website, for example, offtherailstm.com. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you want to be on the show or you know someone who you think would be a good guest, email us. Let us know at offtherailstm@gmail.com. Don't forget to send in all your questions to AskTomAnything, 414@gmail.com. We haven't done any of those lately, but it's...
We forgot to do that.
It's because we keep blowing past them.
We can do them in the bonus.
Yeah.
We'll do
So
some-
this podcast is available on Stitcher, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. I already said that. It's all over the place. All your
everywhere.
favorite podcast hosting sites. See our website for more details.
And remember, Universe, hug a veteran, say thank you. In the bonus episode, we're going to teach you how to say thank you to a veteran. And we're not good enough.
Oh, missed.
I never make it.